On this video we're taking a look at our CBB parlay for the games that are happening on Thursday, March 24, 2022. Welcome back to High Stakes, let's get straight into it. Also, don't forget to subscribe to get notified as soon as we release these sport prediction videos, and if you would like more betting tips and predictions, then check out our Patreon in the link down below. Our new Patreon is a way for us to help you improve your chances of making more money. 5 plans are available for each and every one of you. You can get 30 extra betting picks all the way up to 500 extra betting picks per month. Stop wasting hours of your time searching for bad betting picks that ends up costing you a lot of money. Join the High Stakes Patreon now and get the best betting picks. Our first parlay pick is Michigan vs Villanova. Villanova -5. And here is why. These teams will square off in a rematch of the 2018 national championship game, with Michigan looking to exact revenge after getting blown out. Villanova matches up well with the Wolverines, which makes the Wildcats the recommended pick. Michigan's offense is based heavily on their pick and roll, as they rank 51st in the country in pick and roll rate. They are extremely efficient when running it, ranking in the 85th percentile per synergy. Their sets give them a few different options, as they can hit Hunter Dickinson on the roll, the ball handler can attack the basket off the dribble, or they can kick it out for an open three-pointer. We even saw Dickinson hit 3 from beyond the arc on pick and pops in the win over Tennessee in the last round. However, Villanova ranks in the 83rd percentile in pick and roll defense according to Synergy, primarily because of how their roster is constructed. Their guards and wings are strong enough to hold their own in the post, but are also quick enough to keep up with opposing guards on the perimeter. It's difficult to catch them in mismatches, so Michigan's offense could struggle more than they have thus far. I will be riding with a lower-seeded team in this game. The Villanova Wildcats have been playing solid all year, and they know how to deal with the Wolverines' physical style of play. Michigan was able to take down a Mountain West team and the Tennessee Volunteers on one of their off days. Michigan's tournament ride will be coming to an end against the Wildcats. According to KenPom, the Wildcats have the 8th most efficient offense and the 30th most efficient defense. They will be able to smother the Wolverines when they have the ball and turn those stops into points on the other end. Villanova is averaging 6.8 steals per game, and they will be able to hound the Michigan guards each time they dribble the ball up the court. Nothing will be easy for the Wolverines, and the Wildcats will capitalize on their mistakes. I also love the fact that Villanova has the 49th best overall three-point shooting percentage and the #1 free throw shooting percentage. They will be able to score from anywhere on the floor and slowly pull away from Michigan. This game will be close in the first half, but the Wildcats will take over and pull away from the Michigan Wolverines in the final 20 minutes. On the other end, Villanova's offense is one of the best in the country, ranking 8th in KenPom's adjusted offensive efficiency. They also use pick and roll as their offensive staple, as they rank 27th nationally in frequency. However, unlike Villanova, Michigan's pick and roll defense is not good, which is where Villanova could have an edge. Per Synergy, the Wolverines rank in just the 29th percentile in pick and roll defense. Expect to see Villanova's guards and wings post up on the smaller Michigan backcourt that stands just 6'13" at the guard spots and also try to take Dickinson off the dribble. On paper, Villanova has a matchup edges on both ends, making the Wildcats the recommended bet to cover. Our second parlay pick is Texas Tech vs Duke. Texas Tech win. And here is why. While Duke has the upside to win the national championship, we haven't seen the consistency especially of late on the defensive end, and the Blue Devils have let too many middling teams either hang around or win outright down the stretch as a result. This is going to take the level of competition up a notch, as Texas Tech's smothering defense will challenge the Blue Devils with a level of physicality they haven't seen all season. I love the optics of this matchup. Duke is coming off a cover against Michigan State, while Texas Tech barely survived a real scare from Notre Dame. On the surface, the Blue Devils have it all going for them, including more talented players and the Coach K narrative. But when I dive deeper, I think Texas Tech is the real contender in this spot. The Red Raiders have the best adjusted defense in the country and play a style that Duke hasn't seen for much of this season. In fact, the Blue Devils haven't faced a top 10 defense since beating Gonzaga in November. The Red Raiders own college basketball's most efficient defense per KenPom, as they completely lock down the paint while forcing turnovers on 23.5% of opposing possessions. While the offense doesn't grade out nearly as well, it still posted a strong 52.7% effective field goal percentage despite facing a brutal schedule of opposing defenses in the rugged Big 12, and the Blue Devils can be a little shaky on that end at 42nd in KenPom. By far the biggest weakness for Texas Tech has been getting sloppy with the ball, but that will be mitigated in this matchup with Duke ranking an ugly 309th nationally in defensive turnover rate. Duke hasn't played to its ceiling far too often to trust here. Duke's defense has struggled mightily of late, allowing 78 points per game over their last 6. Tech's offense was dynamite against Montana State, 12-20 on three-pointers, then regressed against Notre Dame, 4-15, and a healthy middle ground should be enough to get the job done. The line movement also favors Texas Tech despite Duke being a public darling. At Benton, the Blue Devils have the second highest ticket count so far this week, just behind fellow ACC rival UNC. Duke is also getting 78% of the overall tickets and nearly 80% of the early handle. Our third parlay pick is Houston vs Arizona. Houston plus 1.5 points. And here is why. The Arizona Wildcats were heavy favorites in each of their first 2 tournament games, and, looking at the numbers, it is hard to argue against it. One intangible that wasn't considered, however, was the relative inexperience of the Arizona squad. They sport a first-year coach and a lineup of talented players that are going through this tournament experience for the first time. In addition, the team's starting point guard, sophomore Kirk Kriisa missed the first tournament game and came off the bench against TCU. Kriisa looked a bit shaky with the basketball and missed his first 5 shots before finally hitting a 3-PT shot midway through the 4th quarter. He finished just 1 of 10 from the floor. Arizona is shooting 51% from the floor overall in 2 games, but is just 16 of 47 from 3-PT range after the 5 of 27 performance against TCU. They have turned the ball over 35 times in 2 games as they continue to adjust their offense with a less than 100% Kriisa. They have 100 rebounds in 2 games compared with 73 for the opposition. With 4 more days to recover and adjust, Arizona hopes to have its best game yet versus the veteran Cougars. The Arizona Wildcats advanced to the Sweet 16 after beating Wright State and TCU during the opening weekend of March Madness. It did not come easy for the number 1 seed, as the Wildcats needed overtime to beat the Horned Frogs on Sunday. Arizona led 67-58 with 6:54 to play, but TCU stormed back and tied the game with under a minute to play. On the last possession, TCU seemed to be fouled near half-court on an attempted steal by Arizona, but there was no foul called. The Wildcat star point guard Kirk Kriisa returned to the lineup after a severe ankle sprain in the Pac-12 tournament, but he did not look himself as he was hobbled and shot just 1 for 10 from the 3-point line. Houston passed the eye test during the first weekend of the NCAA tournament as the Cougars defeated UAB and Illinois by double digits. They looked especially impressive defensively against Illinois as they held the Fighting Illini to 0.85 PPP. Kofi Cockburn led Illinois with 19 points on 6 of 11 shooting from the field, but Houston held the rest of the Illini to 11 of 39. Houston has earned double-digit wins in each of its AAC and NCAA tournament games during this postseason thanks to its defense, which is extremely physical and forces opponents into turnovers by wreaking havoc in the passing lanes. The Cougars have been relentless on the boards throughout the postseason, grabbing 10 or more offensive rebounds in all but 1 game. The Wildcats have struggled to take care of the ball since Kriisa's injury, as they have committed 13 or more turnovers in their last 4 postseason games. Furthermore, Arizona appears susceptible to opposing offensive rebounds against the Horned Frogs, as TCU's Eddie Lampkin pulled down 10 against the Wildcats in the round of 32. The defensive intensity of the Cougars could overwhelm this inexperienced yet talented Arizona team in the Sweet 16, and this game is being played in Texas, so I like Houston. Disclaimer, no financial advice. The information on this channel is provided for education and informational purposes only, without any express or implied warranty of any kind, including warranties of accuracy, completeness, or fitness for any particular purpose. The information contained in or provided from or through this channel is not intended to be and does not constitute financial advice, investment advice, trading advice, or any other advice. The information on this channel and provided from or through this channel is general in nature and is not specific to you, the user, or anyone else. You should not make any decision, financial, investment, trading, or otherwise, based on any of the information presented on this channel without undertaking independent due diligence and consultation with a professional broker or financial advisory.